Hello everyone, welcome back to me, myself and Iffyifz here, and today we are going a bit deeper in the channel. I want to title this section #WeWoke, and I just want to talk about various isms, racism, feminism, terrorism, and then also just discussing cultural current affairs. And today I'm going to be talking about whether I would be different or whether I feel like I'd be different if I was not black, and it's just going to be a discussion about the links between race, personality, and behaviour. So I'm not going to lie, I haven't actually made up my decision yet. I am very split because part of me is like, black is not a colour, black is a colour even, it's not a personality, whereas the other side of me is just really proud to be a black girl and knows that I would not be the same, or just some aspects of my character would not be there if I wasn't black. I'm going to start with the whole black is a colour, not a personality, because at the end of the day, black is a colour. So the idea of someone not sounding black enough or not acting black, that kind of thing, for me it just doesn't really hold weight. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So just to focus on the sounding black. The reason why I think there's so many negative connotations behind this phrase is because what is the alternative? Is the alternative sounding white? And does sounding white mean sounding right? Yo! Yo! No, it doesn't. So if I don't sound black, what exactly am I sounding like? Are you saying that I don't sound black because I don't sound hood, or because I pronounce T's? What is it about my voice doesn't match your expectation of how I should sound because of the fact that I am black? And a lot of it, I do find it's because you think that the idea of sounding black is sounding from the hood or sounding uneducated, which of course is ludicrous. So if I even just take myself and compare myself with another black person who sounds black, right? It doesn't mean that they're less educated than me, and it doesn't mean that I am less black than them. We can still be as black as we can be with our different voices, because even myself, I have about 5 different voices that come out based on my environment. If I meet someone, my voice is automatically higher, whereas if I'm chilling with my friends or if I'm more relaxed, I'm going to say like a lot more. I'm going to throw in a bit of slang. I've got my debating voice, I've got my hood. Okay, I don't actually have that, but basically, if me as a person, as one person, can have about 5 different dialects, imagine how many there are in the whole entire world, in the black population. To say that someone who doesn't sound like what you're expecting doesn't sound black, to be honest, it is quite ridiculous. And as I said, what is the alternative? Is the alternative sounding white? Because if I take someone who sounds stereotypically white, and I take Honey Boo Boo and Sugar Daddy and King Curry, can't hear what they say. I can't actually hear what they're saying. So the same way that you're going to have 2 black people who don't sound the same, you're also going to have 2 white people who don't sound the same. That doesn't mean that one sounds right and one sounds wrong. It just shows that dialect is based on your environment, like where you grew up. It has nothing to do with your race. So that's one thing. And the second thing is acting black. I'm going to focus on kind of bringing the word Oreo, white on the inside, black on the outside, and why I think this is such a negative word. So I'm not going to lie to you, I used to use this word when I was younger. I didn't use it to insult people. I didn't actually know there was anything wrong with the word. I didn't understand the negative connotations behind it. And I remember when I moved to my new school and I was kind of meeting new people, and I asked this girl if she was an Oreo. And the reason I asked her this, it wasn't like, you an Oreo? Like, oh, you're one of them Oreos. I wasn't trying to condescend her. I honestly thought that this was like a known used term. And it's because the school I had gone to before that, the school I went to year 3 to year 9, I never really felt like the other. I never really felt like, the black girl, because in year 8, there were 10 girls in our year, and 5 were black and 5 weren't. It wasn't that segregated. Like, we'd all hang out together, and occasionally, yeah, we would branch off into our groups. And so within the group of 5, we were all quite similar. We all came from Nigerian backgrounds, so, we could just kind of relate on the same level, both at home and at school. So going from a place where I could happily laugh with my friends about times I've been smacked, and we're not kind of crying and thinking, yo, you gotta call childcare, or like who's gonna do it, to it being seen as like a social taboo. And so I was like, oh, you're an Oreo, like legit, honestly, kind of questioning, not like questioning in the sense that you're making fun of, honestly trying to understand. And it wasn't until I kind of grew up and I was in a situation where I was the Oreo, and I was like, huh? Like, what? What do you mean? What do you actually mean? Like, I've always had black friends, I've always had a mixture of friends, but I've been the black girl, so what do you mean I'm an Oreo? I think that just shows that me as a person, having been calling someone an Oreo and being called an Oreo, just shows that the whole acting black doesn't actually make sense. And the reason why I've been in these 2 situations is because people kind of look at you based on their normal. And I think you need to kind of distinguish between what your normal is and saying your normal is the way. Saying that the way you act is the black. Saying that the way you sound is the black. There has to be a difference between the 2. So I don't really agree with the whole acting black, sounding black, because what it does is it forces us into a box. box, and I think the characteristics of the box does come from stereotypes, the media, blah blah blah, and it makes it seem like if you don't kind of fit into this box, you're not black enough. So imagine me not fitting into this box, not being black enough, but in some situations feeling like I'm too black. So it's like, where do I fit in kind of thing, and I think that's the negative behind the whole acting black, sounding black. I'm not even trying to like make this seem as this like sad thing like I'm torn, where do I belong? I'm just saying that no, and this is where the other side comes in, the side of me that is so proud that I'm black and so proud that I'm me. And I think it's the way round in which you say it, like, yeah, I'm me and I'm black, rather than I'm black and so I'm like this. Because when you tell me I'm black and so I'm like this, it leads you to be restricted, and it kind of forces you into society's boxes. For example, I remember at school, again, like when I was talking about the church I went to, it is majoritively Nigerian or majoritively West African anyway. So I remember I'd go to school and they'd be like, oh my gosh, your church like this, your church like this, and I'd be like, yeah, it is, knowing fully well that it wasn't, knowing fully well that in my church we will sing gospel songs, we will sing African songs, and we will sing hymns. It's actually very, very diverse. But why did I say, yeah, my church is like that? Because I didn't want to be in a situation where I didn't feel like I was black enough or matching a stereotype. And right now I can just see how ridiculous that is, because there are so many different cultures. For example, the whole watermelon and Kool-Aid stereotype, that doesn't really match my family. My family stereotype would be like that good. I really don't know why this accent keeps trying to sneak in, but that good pounded jam, a goosey soup. Now if I went to like an average black African American, they may not know what this was, just like I didn't know that Kool-Aid was a stereotype before Beyonce started releasing, Formation and stuff like that. So it just shows that, we can kind of own our own cultures and own who we are in our blackness. And I think I'd be a bit naive to say that, I'd be the same if I wasn't black, because I know the kind of things about me that my other friends who look like me kind of relate to, or there's just the similarities in that. And I think that does come from culture and upbringing. And yeah, I don't know, there is just this kind of little black girl in me that's just like, just so happy to be black, so proud of who I am and that I'm black, There is that little girl in me who's screaming for Viola when she's going up for her Oscar. Because I think it's just this shine, like finding shine through the darkness and finding shine through the struggle, because whether you want to accept it or not, we do face hardships, and I think there is something special about being able to kind of own who you are through those hardships and not allowing them to break you down and force you into a box. I think that is the part of me that is just so proud to be black, and I don't think that just because I am black it means that I have to act a certain way. I think the ability to own who I am and be unique in my blackness is what I just find so beautiful, and that is why I don't think I would be the same if I wasn't black. So I just like to say to all my fellow black people that your black is beautiful, and don't let someone try and make you feel like you're not black enough or you're too black, because you are you. At the end of the day, you're you. So don't look at someone who's black and look at their colour straight away, but at the same time, don't be ashamed of your colour. Own who you are with it. And that is my conclusion. I don't even know if it is a conclusion, but that is what I think. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. It's just really beautiful, and it's just like to kind of go from feeling like black here, not feeling black enough here, and to kind of go from that and just knowing that I am me and I'm black and I am who I am and I'm unapologetic about it. So that is it. I got so into it, I forgot to say, comment below what you think, like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to subscribe, and check out my last videos. I don't know why my eyes are red, I really don't.